What's up, creeps? It's Jason, aka the Pope of Pain. Or should I say, what's up, mask nerds, fellow mask nerds, right? Of course, I'm here with Riley, Rigamortis Mask. Hello, Riley.
What's up?
We got a friend in the studio today.
Out of this world.
It's out of this world. Look at this guy, the Metaluna Mutant.
Don Post.
Don Post, 1998.
Yep. Calendar reissue.
Wow. Okay. I am shocked on this thing. And I'm very excited, guys, for this mask morgue, because holy shit, this is something that we've kind of chased for a little bit, man.
It's a showpiece, you know?
Yeah. And this is so cool. And then finally, you acquired it from our good friend,
one of our great friends. Yeah.
Tristan Pence. But guys, if you don't know Tristan Pence, he is, I will say, he's next level collector. Yeah. Okay. Like, I feel like in the world of collecting that I'm like maybe a 7th grader. All right. I'm in junior high. Riley's in high school, guaranteed high school, right? High schooler.
I'll take it.
Yes. Tristan Pence is a college professor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And the cool thing about Tristan, and I don't have a picture, I would show one up here, guys, of him. But he's a great guy. He's at almost every con out there. He's really under the radar a lot and all that stuff. But his collection of not just masks, but horror memorabilia,
comics,
posters, one sheets, forget about it. This guy has everything, and he learned to collect at a really young age. Like, I think his uncle, I'm just gonna make this up, but I think it was his uncle or maybe his dad or somebody told him how to collect at a young kid, being a young kid in the 70s.
Right.
Okay. So imagine, well, you're younger. We're generations here, all right, from Riley and me, but you know, I can only imagine someone telling me in 1973 when I was born, wake up, they smack me out of the womb and say, look, you need to wrap all your shit in plastic. You need to make sure you take care of your mask, this and that. And in 40, 50 years, you're going to laugh all the way to the bank.
Right.
One, I would have said bullshit and probably, lit things on fire. You know how that goes.
Right.
But this is what Tristan Pence did. Right, he learned how to collect, and he has gems.
Don't get me started on that distortions collection.
Good call. In fact, you said distortions because I think he has masks that that distortions doesn't even own. Right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think Ed Edmonds hit him up one time, and I'm butchering this story, but I think he said he has a mask that Ed Edmonds doesn't even have. Right. One of his OG originals, and I think he wanted it back, or he asked to buy it back, and he wouldn't do it.
Right.
That's a collector.
Smart. Right. Don't do it.
Yeah. So big score for you.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, because this ain't mine. This is Riley's as usual. Right. But for you to get a Metaluna Mutant, which they pop up every once in a while.
They do on eBay.
Yeah.
They're
but
pricey.
The conditions I see on eBay sometimes aren't that good.
I saw one the other day. It looked like a rotisserie chicken. The seal on it had made it so yellow and brown that it's just unrecognizable.
It was I think Metaluna Mutant is probably most visually astounding thing I've ever seen in a mask. Right, I love it, and we're gonna get into it in a minute, guys. But when we saw the old Don Post seal, that sealant that fucking whatever, right? That turns yellow.
Badly, yeah.
It made that mask the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's just a giant lump of dog shit.
Yeah, basically, man. So, it's not good, man. Not good. So, but look, for those who are watching this and has no clue who this guy is, who the Metaluna Mutant is, or maybe you've seen him, you just don't know enough about him. Let me give you like a 1-minute rundown on where this guy came from. So Metaluna Mutant is from a 1955 sci-fi movie. It's not horror, guys. It's sci-fi called This Island Earth, right? Which most people are like, oh, I know that song from Misfits.
Oh yeah, Dr. Chud. There we go.
Dr. Chud, who sat in Metaluna's seat right here at one point, right? By the way. So it's an old sci-fi movie, guys. And then you got to think of the sci-fi days were weird, man, especially in the 50s, because we just learned how to destroy our own Earth with atomic bombs, right? From World War II, we dropped a couple in Japan, and now everybody, Russia, everybody's just building these things, right? So we've learned how to do it. And what that did for the sci-fi community, you're like, shit, we got to get off this rock, right?
Right.
So the sci-fi community really blew up, and movies were coming out all over the place. It's great stuff. Day the Earth Stands Still, like I said, This Island Earth. I could go on for
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
All types of fun stuff came out.
Well, it's not off this Earth, but
maybe Creature One, maybe subterranean off this. You know what I'm saying? Go below Earth. I don't know. Whatever.
Right.
But it was really cool, and they portrayed the mutant. Right. Basically, there's a planet with called Metaluna. And they're run by these Martians, but these guys were like they're slaves, right? They're muscle, or something, right? Kind of they're there to serve the alien race on Metaluna, and basically the way they designed this guy, with giant brains, right? Big claws and all that stuff. And maybe I can, if I'm good enough, I can put a picture up of what these guys look like. But it was like the tropes in the 50s, right? On what, we have brains, but we're brawn. We can tough. We'll kill you and all this stuff, right? And it was kind of like it's the easy way to throw something out there. You look at, a lot of the creatures from all these sci-fi movies, this is what they kind of all look like. They always were big and they had like some type of alien shit coming off their heads, man.
Right. They describe them as being like bugs on their planet, but vastly more intelligent. So.
Yeah, and just the design is amazing. I just thought it was pretty freaking wild and pretty fun, man. And not only that, who designed this? Let's talk about that.
The Lady of the Black Lagoon, Millicent Patrick.
Oh, can you believe that? Right?
What a lady.
Yes, yeah. So she actually designed this. This was great. Which once again, you heard, a lot of people. She gets thrown under the radar though because of
bitch Westmore. I mean, Bud Westmore. I'm sorry. I don't know what got into.
Yeah, stealing all her thunder.
Always doing that.
Yeah,
it was a tough.
Well, I mean, in the 50s, as a woman, especially in the effects industry or any profession, honestly, you kind of got sidetracked. And this is just how society was. I look back, especially you look back generational. Like we were talking the other day, and this is way off topic, but I'm going to throw it out there, about an 80s horror movie and how, oh my God, these guys, they were homophobic. They were blah, blah, blah. They were they were very disrespectful to women, this and that. Guys, that's just how it kind of was,
right.
I'm not saying it's right, but it was kind of how it was back in the 70s and 80s and all that stuff. We obviously evolved and all this stuff, but guys, that's how it was. And unfortunately, in the 50s, it was even worse, and all this stuff. So, Millicent was amazing sculptor, amazing special effects artist, but she got kind of pushed aside.
Male-dominated industry.
Right, yeah. Right. So, which, but now we can still celebrate her now, years later, decades later, because, man, I respect the shit out of her, man.
Some good rubber replicas.
Yeah. So cool, man.
Still appreciate her work.
I did, totally, man. Right. So, and now, all right. So before I can run all day on these old sci-fi movies and all this stuff, but let's talk about this piece in particular, right? Once again, this is the 1998 reissue, right? Well, look, you go ahead and tell me about this.
As we all know, and we've talked about this many times on the channel, so if you guys haven't been listening, I'll go through it one more time. 66, they came out with the Monster Calendar at Dawn Post Studios, and I believe it might have been December that they actually had the Metaluna Mutant on the calendar. And it's funny, it was a movie mold piece that they had photographed, but they didn't actually produce the movie mold piece. They had a very more sizable one, more like a milk jug size, very sizable, very reasonable, as opposed to something like this, which I did actually manage to get my head in there. And
which was amazing, by the way. Yeah.
The opening's about the size of my hand, and I almost died, but here we are.
And Riley about suffocated to death in this thing.
Right. And so they made a smaller one, and a few movie mold ones were produced kind of like under the table at Dawn Post Studios. And if you can find one today, lucky you. Yeah. But this one was adapted from the movie molds when they did a calendar reissue in 98. The brain kind of shrunk from molding and whatnot, and the eyes were enlarged, so they're a little smaller in the movie. And but other than that, I mean, I think this is the closest you're going to get to having a movie mold mutant.
I agree. Yeah. It's insane. Like this, like I said, the size of the brain is what blows my mind, guys.
About 2 feet tall.
2 feet tall. This thing, if you spin it around and look at it, I think I'll throw a cutaway up here, man. Right. It looks like my nutsack on prom. It's horrible, right? Big blue balls.
Giant blue balls.
That's a bad joke. All right, I don't care. Whatever. Anyway, I'm old. I can do these old jokes, right? I just talk about culturally being appropriate. Sorry, but no, and it's foam filled inside.
Yeah, right about down to the eyes here is where it's foam filled, and I took it upon myself to jump on the scale. I'm not going to share my weight with you guys as much as you'd like that, but then I hopped on the scale with the mask, and it was 10 to 10 and a half pounds, this mask.
A 10-pound mask. Yeah. Dude. And
it's about 2 feet tall as well. So.
Totally. It's huge, man. You lift this thing, and it's like, okay,
it's like carrying an infant,
Yeah, and it's amazing that they produce these and I don't even know how. Great quality,
incredibly thick mask too.
It's like a tire, which is amazing. But the paint on it is great, and this is what I also love because this is I'm gonna do my math. I'm gonna say 26-year-old, maybe 25-year-old mask right now.
We can't do math.
Yeah, whatever.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, it's the mask for it, right?
Right.
And this was Tristan did an amazing job to keeping this thing pristine.
Right,
you know?
right. It's baby blue and beautiful.
Yeah, the colors are great. No rot. I don't see anything.
No rot whatsoever.
Yeah, this thing's been in plastic since day one.
And this thing's gonna be around for a good while.
For sure. Yeah. It's definitely to me, it's not a grail piece, I don't want to say, but it's something that in my grail collection.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? I would, one day when Riley gives me all these, right, or whatever, and
when Jason murders me, is what he meant to say.
I cannot wait to put this dead center, right? But it's cool. Right. I love it because we have it in the shop yesterday, right, during the weekend, and people are just, I walk by and their eyes just get huge, going, "What the hell is this?"
No one knows what it is.
Yeah,
and it's funny too because like growing up, seeing this guy, I just wanted to see the movie by seeing the image, you know.
Yeah.
And you think this guy is going to be the focal point of the film. And you watch the movie as a young monster fan, and you are very disappointed because he shows up on screen for, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes.
Maybe, yeah.
Wiggles his arms around and like rubble falls on him, and then a heat wave or like the pressure in space kills him, and he just keels over and melts away. And I was like, really? I'm like, I will never get the hour and a half that I just watched back.
No shit, yeah.
And he's on there for 2 minutes, you know.
It's I love how slow and just they're probably the most unintimidating monsters when you see them move.
Right.
Now when you look at them, they got these super long arms and the pinchers and all that.
Pinches like one guy, but that's about
he pinches one of the Martians. It doesn't even hurt.
Violence.
Doesn't even kill him. He's just like, I'm all right. I'm good. You know. And they get
me on the ship.
They get in a little speed buggy and leave. Right. And all this
right.
stuff. But it's the execution of the monster in the movie, not so good, right?
But his image lives on.
The image definitely was on. In fact, a lot of people got tattoos. Oh, wait, hold on. We got Riley. Okay, where are you at?
If I can get in there.
There you go. Riley gets tattooed almost every mask. But it's, and it's very colorful, which I love, right? And all that stuff. And I think having a blank of this will be just insane.
I've seen a friend of mine paint one.
Yeah.
And he actually did like a brown and mint green mix.
Oh.
And it was just so interesting to see him another color, you know?
Yeah.
And Trick or Treat Studios reissued the Elusive Concepts, which is kind of like a gray-green one, which is interesting, you know? So
it's all right.
I mean, obviously we love our true blue, you know? So
yeah, no, this is great, man.
Right.
And like I said, to have a pristine copy of a reissue calendar mask is cool. I actually have the exact calendar, by the way,
right.
Inside the store. So anybody who's in Arizona wants to see the actual OG Don Post calendar, I have it. So come check it out.
Talk to us.
Yeah, come see us and come see the mutant. So, all right, now let's talk price. We always talk price on this thing, man. What would a guy like me who's surfing eBay or surfing, maybe get a little underground shit and trying to talk to somebody, what am I going to pay for a copy this good, dude?
I'm not going to beat around the bush. This mask is probably $500 to $600, and depending on if people are nice enough to cover shipping or not. And I've seen some of these on eBay for like $500 or so, but people will charge like $100 to ship it just because it's such a
heavy
big mask, So I'd say that's about the ballpark you pay for one.
Which is not honestly totally worth it.
It's not the most I've spent on a mask. So thank you, Tristan.
Yeah, and not the most he spent on a mask this week. He forgot to finish that sentence.
Yeah, we got a few.
Yeah, Riley went on a binge, right? Yeah. Like some people go like on weird drinking binges and all that stuff. Riley goes, benders. You went on a mask bender this week. And
happy birthday to me.
Yes. But we got some good stuff to come show you guys on the mask work. So yeah, $500-$600, man, totally worth it. When you pick this thing up, I hope you've been working out. Hope you hit the gym because you're gonna need it. And then if you get stuck on your head, no better way to die than just the Metaluna Mutant. And so, good stuff, man. All right, well, dude, thank you for bringing this thing in again. And I hope you guys enjoyed this kick-ass Metaluna Mutant once again from this island Earth, 1955. Who knew back then 70 some years later that we're actually, or whatever it is, my math sucks again, man.
I don't know.
That we'll be celebrating a mutant that's been on the screen for 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And but the fucking design, Millicent, I love you.
I love you too.
Wherever you're at in this world. So all right, that's it, guys. Time to close the Mask Morgue doors.